Good morning. Good morning. Let's go over a few updated some data here we have to communicate to you guys. So first and foremost, the SPC risk did get upgraded overnight for portions of the region, all the way now extending from central Michigan all the way through northeastern and east central Indiana and also northwest Ohio as well. That slight risk is in place to cover the risk for damaging winds. Looking at our wind map here, identical to the overall outlook of the overall, basically identical to the same map, just different colors here, indicating the winds. The wind threat is the exact same thing, basically. Lose my train of thought with that. Anyway, it's a slight risk now. It's a 15% risk for damaging winds within that yellow area. Around that area in brown reddish areas is a 5% risk. It's a little bit lower of a risk, but still a risk nonetheless. And also for tornadoes as well, that extends in the slight risk area all the way from central Michigan in the areas in green all the way down through east central and northeast Indiana and also northwest Ohio. Overall thinking has not changed in terms of timing and also threats. We'll go over the model here very briefly. The HRRR model is, we're going to use this one for right now. We do have a couple models that are showing the exact same thing here. So overall, we're looking at storms to start developing here within the next hour or two out here in Illinois, Indiana. And this is going to form a line through Indiana into Ohio and also south and central Michigan. It organizes here right around the 1 to 2 p.m. time frame, somewhere in northwest Indiana through central Indiana into west central Michigan. That's going to organize and push eastward through the afternoon. And along that line, in any of those cells that do pop up, we're going to have a risk for damaging winds, as well as a low risk for right now of a spin-up tornado across the region. There's no one place in particular that looks to have a higher threat for that, more so than the 2%, within the 2% risk that we see highlighted here. So if you're at the top of that risk all the way down to the bottom of that risk, you have the exact same threat. There's no one place that we are looking for in particular. With that being said, our operations today, we're going to be streaming mainly from Michigan. We're going to be multi-streaming from our Michigan account to this account. So if you guys want to tune in to watch some live storm chasing radar coverage, primary focus today is going to be on Michigan because that's where we feel the highest threat is going to be. However, the threat does exist for Indiana and Ohio as well. Just overall, our chasers who are chasing will be primarily in Michigan today. So with that being said, we'll go live here approximately about 2 p.m., give or take an hour or so, depending on what storms do. Overall, the risk is still there today, a marginal risk in darker green and a slight risk now for damaging winds in the yellow areas. It is unlikely we see this upgraded to an enhanced. It is also unlikely we see an upgrade to a tornado 5%, although the SPC does have one more outlook. We actually have two more. There's one at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. And there's also one coming at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central time. So we have two more updates to go through the SPC. Overall, I don't think this is going to change much at all. It may get extended a bit further east into eastern Michigan, maybe a bit further east into northwest Ohio. But overall, the risk is pretty good in my opinion. Damaging winds is your main threat with any storm, as those wind profiles today are quite strong on the surface, but also up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, the winds are cranking up there. So any storm or shower will have potential to bring those down to the ground. So risk today, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour possible. You're probably going to see a risk or a small risk for a brief spin-up tornado along that line of storms that does form. We'll watch that extremely closely. Well, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys have questions, now is the time to drop them in chat. Overall, I think this threat is playing out nicely. We're watching live data here on what we call mesoanalysis, looking at satellite, looking at our dew points, getting an idea of what the atmosphere is doing right now. And so far, so good. We're doing this. We're on track. That's all I'm going to say. We're on track for a good what the forecast is calling for here. It doesn't look too aggressive just yet, or doesn't look to be underplaying. We're on track. We're going to be multi-streaming, Tabby. So it's going to be one stream to two locations. So I'll be here. I think Joel's going to hop on with me as stream radar. I believe we're going to have a couple other chasers, Ben, Drew. I know we're going to have Rob out when he's out of work. We're going to have a couple chasers in Michigan. That's where we feel the best threat is going to be. But overall, it's going to be one stream to this account, but also the Michigan account as well. No problem, Kevin. Any other questions? All right. If no more questions, overview for the day is, again, severe risk is in effect. It's a slight risk now for northeast Indiana, northwest Ohio into south central Michigan. Main risk, damaging winds, a spin-up tornado or two across the region. Definitely possible given the wind shear profiles. We're going to be watching for moisture returns here and also the instability. How high can that get? Those are going to dictate the overall tornadic threat today. But overall, it's a good risk. Definitely take it seriously. If you have loose objects in your yard, tie them down, trash cans, kids' toys, stuff like that. Make sure it's secured. The wind should be already cranking. I know they're cranking up here in Michigan already. There are wind advisories in effect all throughout the region. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, take up a little bit of a break. We'll probably be back on here around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern to start our coverage, hopefully of sub-severe storms. But if anything goes severe, we'll be here covering it. So with that being said, I'll hop off here. Thanks, guys, for watching. Do me a favor and hit the like button for me on your way out. Stay safe, guys.